been sitting here for the past 10 minutes. I feel like I should have everything ready. Yeah, it looks like everything. Hey guys, how you doing? Hey, hi, it's me. Hey, it's Tekchenko. How you doing? We're here again. It's Katawa Shoujo. Yay! I've actually been thinking about this for a while now. I'm very excited to get back into Katawa Shoujo. There was a point. It was about a 3-day point between this and the last session, wherein I was like, I mean, it could wait for one good ending, right? I could just follow one path straight down the way, and then we'll pick Valhalla back up when I'm done with one good ending. But I was like, I'll stick to what I said the first time. Today's going to be the last session for now. I will admit it has captured me with its charm. It's very nice. It's very fun. So what we're gonna do, the goal is for me to finish up with today's session. However long that's going to be, probably time. We'll go back to Valhalla next week. Once we're done with Valhalla, we'll pick Katawa Shoujo back up. Until I say otherwise. Although Halloween is coming up, so we may interrupt that with we may combo break that again with one other thing. I've actually been meaning to get back into Slay the Princess. That'd be a good excuse to do that. Anyway, that's not important right now. Right now, let's check back in with our old buddy Hisao. By the way, can you believe that's like the one clear picture we have of the guy? But they're on the left-hand corner over here. I tried to find like a good rendering of this so that I could put that up there, but like there was nothing. This is the only picture that I could find like this. It's mildly infuriating. And then this guy has no official art of him. It's understandable but a little sad. Anyway. Lunch evolution theory. Hold on. I should have waited until later to do that. I feel very tired this morning, probably because yesterday itself was a very tiring day. On top of all that, I woke up far earlier than necessary. After saying hi to Shizune and Misha, I start doing the work as instructed from the board. It already looks like today's going to be heavy. I don't have a problem with that now, though. Shizune and Misha might jump on me trying to get an answer about whether or not I've decided to join the student council, even if it is just one day. I wouldn't put it past them to try, and I don't have an answer for them if they do, so the situation is pretty convenient for me. About 10 minutes into class, Hanako walks in and takes a seat, but no one looks at her. The teacher doesn't even comment on her lateness. He does, however, stop us to say that we're going to break into groups again. I turn my head to see that Shizune and Misha are looking at me. Shizune gives me a smile that is equal parts cute and menacing. It is a smile that says, "We have you now, there is no escape." Hee-chan! It looks like we're together again! Yay, yay! Misha leans in sideways while Shizune pushes her desk closer to mine. There really is no escape now unless I were to jump through the window. Jumping out the window isn't the best option, sadly. What's wrong, Hee-chan? Oh, Hee-chan, have you been thinking about what you said yesterday? You said that you could think about joining the student council, didn't you? It's okay, Hee-chan. We were talking about it after you left, and it would be rude to expect you to have an answer already for us this early, right? Right. I'm so happy you two are able to have a laugh at my expense, and even more pleased to know that you both know how crazy the two of you can be. Now that that's over, Shizune snaps back into serious mode and smacks today's assignment with the back of her hand in an overly dramatic and important way. When I actually look at the stuff, it's mostly just reading. In fact, there's only 2 problems. I almost want to say something about how her rush to get started probably seems a bit much considering the small amount of work. In fact, Shizune probably knows how little there is and simply really doesn't care. Seems like the workload doesn't matter to her as much as the fact that there is work. The actual amount is unimportant. She approaches everything with the same level of ambition, which is not bad. While I'm reading, I let my eyes wander around the room and catch Hanako trying her hand at solving. What the fuck was that? Trying her hand at solving the problems. It looked like she's working alone. I can't remember seeing her working with other people before either. Thinking back to how shy she is, it's kind of understandable. But hey, that girl over there. Who, Hee-chan? Her. Hanako? Over there? Does she always work alone? I think so, Hee-chan. Do you feel sorry for her because she's alone? I was just thinking that maybe she could, work with us or something. No, I don't think that'd be a good idea, Hee-chan. Why not? Shi-chan wouldn't get along with her. Why? Misha shuffles around the question, letting out a laugh that sounds pretty strange. It's nervous, but she still has that lilting up and down quality present in everything she says. Just because, Hee-chan. And now Shizune has noticed our conversation and it makes me realize how Misha has been signing everything she's been saying this whole time. Mm. What, Shi-chan? The friend of my enemy is my enemy? That sounds so harsh. I'm not going to say that. You said it aloud anyway. I know, Hee-chan. It's fine if you overhear. I wonder if Misha's way of keeping things. This is Misha's way of keeping things fair, since without her, I wouldn't be able to understand a thing Shizune is saying, and vice versa. Is this also why she signs all the time, so there's never a conversation will be left out of? It's also pretty good practice, I guess. Anyway, we should settle the problem now, Hee-chan. We finished with time to spare, and I decided to ask if there's any alternatives to the cafeteria, as frankly, the food has been subpar. This since Shizune and Misha arguing amongst themselves about their favorite restaurants. All of them are downtown, and I don't think we have the time to go all the way out there. And, what about the bill? None of us are getting paid. None of us have money. We're students, damn it. Are they arguing just for the fun of it? Maybe. They seem so distracted by it, they don't even notice the start of the actual lunch break. I look over my shoulder towards the back of the classroom. She seems to be studying her notes from the previous class. It's an odd sight. Everyone else in the class is busying themselves with the lunch break. Socializing, gossiping, rearranging desks. The one with the actual... I'm just gonna pretend I don't notice that. The ones with actual boxed lunches mixed in and chattering like everyone else, only interrupted by short bouts of eating. But when I watch Hanako, it feels like I'm the only one who can see her. As if she was invisible, sort of hiding in plain sight. Is she being bullied? Is she isolating herself from the rest of the class on her own accord? I see her look over her shoulder towards the classroom's rear door. Think of it, she hasn't turned a page since I started watching her. I guess she's waiting for someone? What to do? So I really want to get to know Hanako more, but I feel like this would be a bad way to approach it. But yeah, let's go talk with Hanako. I don't have... So unlike me going through a Fate Stay Night, I don't actually have a flowchart this time around. And I don't have one for... I really wouldn't know where to look, so I'm just kind of freeballing it here. I still feel bad for making her run away yesterday, so I'd better say something. Hey there, Hanako. Peace out? Well, at least she remembers my name. Hey, I wanted to apologize for yesterday. I really didn't mean to startle you or anything. I'm just new here, and I thought I should get to know my classmates. As Hanako looks up to me, I notice her scarring once more. It's a little bewildering that you can barely notice it from across the room, but it's so noticeable from up close. But that's okay. It was my fault. It wasn't really anyone's fault, it just kind of happened. So are you waiting for someone? I saw you looking at the door before. Yes. Lily. Oh, you mean Lily, the blind girl. Hanako only nods in response. I can't help but wonder if defining people through their disability is a faux pas of the worst kind or just kind of normal here. I guess that explains why Lily took off after her yesterday. She seems like a nice girl. You two friends? Yes. As if hoping for Lily to appear, she checks over her shoulder again. I think I'm making her nervous again. I hope I'm not disturbing you right now. No, that's not it. It's just easier if Lily doesn't come here. Oh, because it's hard to get around the classroom? Not really. Hanako's gaze drifts past my shoulder and towards Shizune. Oh, I feel like there would be some sort of difficulty in communication between a blind girl and a deaf girl. Shizune? Hanako nods again. What about her? Don't they get along? Hanako shakes her head. Clearly there's something she doesn't want to talk about. It does make a strange sort of sense, Shizune and Lily not getting along so well. Communication between the two would be all but impossible. It's hard enough talking to Shizune through Misha, even when you can see whose hands are talking. Hanako is so focused on Shizune that I am the first to notice Lily at the door. Oh, she's here right now, actually. Hanako spins around to confirm this. Upon seeing Lily, she moves quickly to the door.
Lily.
Ah, Hanako. Good morning. Is the president here?
Yes.
Hanako glances over her shoulder at Chizune again, as if to confirm she can't hear them, even though that's literally impossible. I suppose we'd best be off then. Lily's sigh and tone of what seems like frustration makes me raise an eyebrow. I guess there's some kind of enmity between the two. It's intriguing, but it's not really something I should ask about. If they wanted me to know, they would have told me. It's only my third day here. I should be trying to make friends, not finding out when people are enemies. Still, a little funny to find out that the school has little feuds, just like my old high school. Even if people are more tolerant of others, they're still going to get on each other's nerves. Hey Lily, how are things? Sorry I made you run off yesterday. Oh my, is that Hisao? I didn't realize you were here. It seems that Lily's a little embarrassed about being so frank in front of me.
Sorry, Lily, I thought you realized.
No, it's all right, Hanako. Hisao, please don't worry about yesterday. It was just a misunderstanding. If you say so. I'm still kind of working this place out.
Well then, I think you'll find most people here are a lot more forgiving than elsewhere. If you're feeling a little confused, please don't be afraid to ask questions.
Sure, I'll remember that.
Lily?
Lily gives a small nod of acknowledgement. I'm sorry, Hisao, but we must be off. Hanako really doesn't look that comfortable here right now, and Lily seems to be a little embarrassed. I wonder if my apologies really made any impact. Mind if I accompany you? Now I'm kind of pushing it, but Lily hums quietly, still smiling. I'm sure we could accommodate you. Watch me, Hanako? She looks at Lily, then at me, and she freezes wide-eyed.
Sure.
Well then, shall we go? I'm sure Lily wouldn't do this so easily if she saw how scared Hanako looks, but it can't be helped now. Declining after the deal is sealed would only cause confusion and problems. So we leave, all three together. Lily walks beside the wall, letting her cane gently tap against it every now and then. Hanako comes along right beside her, so close that she's practically half hugging as they go. Although it would make her walking that much harder, Lily takes it in stride. As we turn the corner of the hallway, something hits me in the chest with the force of a steam train. Hanako shrieks a little and my vision briefly goes black. Oh, ouch. Opening my eyes, I see a pair of saucer-like green eyes looking after me. Okay, I'm gonna ride this out, and then I'm gonna tell you why I laughed a little bit then. They belong to the perpetrator, a short girl who bumped into me and has now fallen down into the hallway floor. She wears a PE uniform and a very worried frown. Former strikes me as a rather strange thing to have on during a lunch break. More striking than that is that she doesn't have any legs. Or she does, but they're not really flesh and bone. They're pale and very much flesh and bone thighs, ended shins, and feet made of some black metallic or plastic-like material. They look disturbingly artificial and a little unnatural. It almost makes me forget that my chest is hurting. The girl winces a little and rubs her nose and jumps.
Oh man, are you alright? Sorry about that, really. I wasn't looking where I was going, and you just came out of nowhere. Sorry.
She's looking really apologetic in the way her puppy way of looking apologetic. I quickly forget about being angry or anything, since her puppy's got my weak spot. It's okay, don't worry about it. I say that, but there's a stinging pain growing in my chest, and I know that this is about the biggest possible danger for my condition. But don't overexert yourself, don't forget your medication, and most of all, don't get hit in the chest. I try to rub my solar plexus to chase the pain away, holding my breath in an attempt to hear my heartbeat. Shit. Seems normal.
Hey, should I get a nurse?
The worried, high-pitched voice of the girl snaps me out of it. I stare at her for a few seconds, dumbfounded, until I realize that I probably looked worse off than I really was, doubled over myself and looking all tense. Damn, I'm really worried about my heart. I'm overly worried about my heart. No need. I'm fine now. It's fine. Managing to say something in response, I pull myself upright, feeling my sore ribs one last time, and I take a deep breath. She just knocked the wind out of me. Big time. But it's nothing more than that.
You sure you're okay? I hit you pretty hard.
It's okay. I said I was fine, and nothing's really broken. No harm done.
That's good. I was... Hisao, what happened?
She's not quite up to speed for obvious reasons, but she sounds very worried. More than, well, what the situation deserves, really. Someone just bumped into me. It's nothing serious. I'm just a little winded.
Sorry, it's my fault. I was just going to get some stuff and I was in kind of a hurry.
That someone here is Emmy, isn't it? The little girl coughs quietly and shuffles her plastic or metallic feet, looking down at them before saying anything.
Hi, Lily. Wanna go?
I guess the girls know each other.
Do please try to be more careful. You might be steady enough to endure these sorts of accidents, but there are people who aren't.
The girl blushes and starts to fidget nervously, like a little child caught misbehaving. It's so cute, I find myself smiling.
I know that. I was just... I gotta go. Teacher, I have my head up, I promise. I promised to help with the printouts and I went running instead, but... sorry, I gotta change and everything.
Before any of us can say anything, Emmy has already bolted away, leaving the hallway eerily quiet. Does, that kind of thing happen often around here?
More rules in Yamaku than usual for running in corridors. But that really stops Emmy, it seems.
She shakes her head weakly and offers a slight, composed smile. I was laughing, by the way, because I don't know if it's an edit or if it's like a draft from like the original version of the game. But it was that exact CG of her. Oh no, I can't go that far back. It was the exact CG of her like on the floor like that, and it was like a selection box of like what to say. But one of the options was like, "Damn bitch, did your mom give birth in a minefield or some shit like that?" It's so funny but bad. And it's exactly the kind of humor I might expect from 4chan. So they may or may not have actually done it, and then it got edited out when it's for a public release. Anyway, that's not important right now. She shakes her head weakly and offers a slight but composed smile.
I don't think there's anything we can do to stop her, I'm afraid. Shall we be off then?
Lily heads off along the hallway, and Hanako hurries after her. The route to this room the two of us use for tea is fairly simple to retrace, being still fresh in my mind from yesterday. Lily and Hanako quietly go about the business of making lunch. Before I can even open a small bag of food, Lily is busying herself with their thermos and tea bags, and Hanako is setting up both of their lunch boxes. So this is what you meant by coming here almost every day.
Yes, Hanako and I usually have lunch here. It suits both of us, so we ended up using this room regularly.
After seeing Hanako's reactions to me over the past couple of days, I can understand why this is a boon. That, and Lily being able to get some quiet away from her class as well. I take my seat after Lily's poured the tea for us and sits down. This is nice. This is a nice feeling. It's the same CG as the last time, but now Hanako's here. The more time I spend with the two girls, the more I think they're a perfect foil for Misha and Shizune. Even without a voice, Shizune is direct and brash, and Misha seems to get along with everyone. On the other hand, Lily is soft-spoken and relaxed, while Hanako seems to be the shyest girl I've ever met.
So how are you faring in Yamaku, Hisao? You seem a bit flustered before.
Apart from getting lost every now and again and being crash-tackled outside my classroom, it's fine, I guess.
You looked pretty hurt before. Were you very okay?
For a brief moment, I consider telling Hanako and Lily about my condition, but then I hold it back. Can't tell why, but for some reason I feel uncomfortable talking about it to these relative strangers, even if they have been pretty friendly. And they would totally understand.
Yeah, it's nothing. I'm just a bit startled.
Judging from the two girls' expressions, I don't think that they're buying it. But when what I assume to be their way of respecting my privacy, they don't really press the matter. I guess that's one of the unwritten rules around here. I'll ask. Even if people's conditions are obvious, like Hanako's, there's still bound to be a story involved. What is with that flickering? I don't know. Whatever. Everyone has things they don't feel comfortable speaking about, and I think everyone here recognizes that. I'm not dropping frames or anything, so I guess I'll just ignore it. So, how long have you guys been in this school? You both seem to know your way around pretty well.
Well, I've been here since the start of high school. I only moved into the dormitories a year ago. Hanako joined at the start of high school as well, and moved to the dormitories when she did. If memory serves me right. That's right. Since high school.
So you've known each other since then?
Since I moved, yes. Hanako lives next door to me, so it's only natural, right? Hey.
Yeah, of course. Living next to somebody is probably reason enough to befriend them, though I'm guessing that Lily's blindness played a part in it as well. I can't imagine Hanako easily making friends with someone who is to deliberately avoid looking at her scars. With the immediate conversation dried up, we start to eat our lunch. You can't see what it is, though. Perverts. It's a unique bell. It isn't long before the bells are signaling the end of the lunch break. Like me, the girls pack up their lunches as efficiently as they set them out.
I guess I'd better be off. Are you going with Hisao, Hanako?
Hanako looks up at me, and for a second I can see that she's considering skipping class entirely, maybe to avoid walking in the same classroom with me.
Yes.
I don't know what to think of it. Hanako really is delicate when breaking if looked at the wrong way. It makes me a little nervous too, but I push the feeling aside, trying to be as natural as I can. We should hurry though. Class has already started with the sound of it. Lily gives a nod of farewell as she bends down to take her cane. Hanako and I filing out before her. We walk quickly down the empty halls to our respective classes. As we reach the door to Lily's 3-2 classroom, she turns towards me.
Hisao, thank you for sharing lunch with us today.
My pleasure, Lily. And with that, we part ways. Lily entering her classroom and leaving Hanako and me to make off to our own. She's still looking like she wants to run away. So, do you really want to go back to class now?
Yes.
Okay then. I feel like I should say something more to her, but it's hard to come up with anything that would be appropriate and safe enough. And Lily was right. The more time we spend out here, the more explaining we have to do. I open the rear door to the class and walk in. The teacher looks up at me and opens his mouth to say something. However, as Hanako follows me in and closes the door, he simply nods to us and continues his lecture. This is the third time that Hanako has had her truancy practically ignored. There's definitely something going on there. We make our way to our seats, and I notice that Misha and Shizune are both missing as well. I wonder if it's some form of informal agreement with the staff, or if it's a perk afforded the unique students at the school. Trying to make as little disturbance as I can, I extract the relevant textbooks from my bag and start catching up. Class goes on quietly. The teacher seems like an okay person despite the weird first impression I got, and the material is relatively interesting. However, the way he teaches is really bizarre. It's as if he expects that everyone is a natural genius. With the final bell sounds, I realize that there's still a lot of time left in the day, and I'm left wondering what to do. This feels loud in my ears, hold on. This is like the second day in a row I've had to turn it down myself. I hope you guys are still getting basically the same sound, although maybe I have to turn that down too. It's odd that the hospital I have 24 hours a day. It's odd. At the hospital I had 24 hours a day of free time, but here, filling it with considerably shorter hours feels difficult. Everyone else leaves and I'm left alone with the teacher. Muto is examining the assignment sheets we were working on earlier, marking them with a red ball pen. Raising his eyes from the papers briefly, he notices me and furrows his brow. What is it, Nakai? I jump at him and addressing me, but I guess it's natural to spark some conversation since there's nobody else around. Nothing. Just thinking about what I do after school. The teacher slowly puts the cap on the pen and he's holding and arranges his papers into a stack, cracking it against the desk twice. He seems very methodical, and for a brief moment I'm reminded of Shizune. The teacher's more unhurried and relaxed, much more routine. You have no plans? No. I consider joining a club, but I don't know what kind of club would interest me. Go observe a meeting of someone else's club and pique your interest. I guess. But I don't really know where to continue from there. Muto looks at me in a way that makes me quickly want to take back the words I said to avoid a conversation. But I can't, so I have to forge on ahead. I just don't know how to deal with people. I mean, the other students. I'm talking to people and everything, so it's not that I'd be isolated or anything. I just don't know what to think about, disabilities. It's like, it feels that I'm being impolite if I pay attention to them, but it's also weird to ignore them. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. The teacher scratches his cheek absentmindedly, looking very unresponsive. These things are only an issue if you make them one. Not normally with someone who they're blind or something. Try to look behind the superficial. There's not a single student here who isn't just a normal kid behind whatever they may seem at first glance. He says the same thing Yuko did. I know that they're right, but it's hard. What do you not consider, for example, Shizune's deafness, when the only way to communicate with her is to talk through Misha? Or Hanako. It's not like you can just easily ignore her face. But I'm interrupted by the door of the classroom suddenly slamming open.
Teacher!
Misha crushes in, heads straight in an enthusiastic greeting, her voice loud and lively enough to wake the dead from their graves. She starts towards the teacher's desk with her bouncing step, hands energetically swinging with the rhythm. Muto, visibly dismayed at the interruption, and Misha, in general, slumps in his chair. Oh, and Misha, in general, slumps. Why, though? Misha stops in her tracks and looks around cluelessly, as if she's sensing from his tone that there's something wrong, but has no idea what.
Yes?
We have talked about volume control before.
Yes.
She didn't seem to lower her voice at all, and the teacher just rubs his eyes. So what is it?
We need help. We're running out of supplies for the festival stands. This is a distress.
She waves a pink slip of paper she's holding around. So, go get more supplies from the art room. What's the problem with that?
Plywood. Plywood is always the problem. Last time we wanted more, there was only a little, but this time we took it all and just went with that. Now there's like none left there, so do you know where there is some?
I don't understand. How would I know?
Chi-chan, the president, thought the teacher would know if there's plywood. Was she wrong?
Muto looks like as if he's in great pain, frowning with his entire essence, and Misha doesn't get it at all. I'm definitely feeling some kind of respect from her, but I don't know what. Looking at the two of them communicate is terrible. Like looking at a man being tortured by drilling his skull open while blasting pop music at full volume at the same time. I'm afraid I have no idea if there's any plywood in the school, let alone where it would be if there was any.
Aw, what should I do?
Perhaps try and find Mr. Nomiya? Quite sure you would know where to find everything you need. You'd have to pry him from his cold, dead hands, but that's a different matter.
I don't have time. We're so busy.
She holds her head with both hands, looking as despairing as possible for a person like her. Without even noticing, she crumbles the note she's holding against her hair.
I shouldn't even be fetching these things. There's so much to do and we're falling behind the schedule.
Muto looks at her gravely, and then suddenly smiles. Smiling doesn't really fit his face. I think it'd be better if he didn't. I wonder if you can get some temporary help. Yuko just staring at me, focusedly, with a hard expression, as if saying, go make some friends.
I guess I can give you a hand. You can? Thanks, Hee-chan. You really are nice.
She pauses, does a double take, then points at me with a finger, yelping. And looking very puzzled.
What do you think of it? What's Hee-chan doing here? How's this? Should you be having fun?
We just had a little chat.
Oh no, it's not detention, is it? Are you in trouble, Hee-chan?
No, I'm not.
Is Hee-chan a trouble teacher?
No, not. Muto sighs deeply, and I feel that I have to help Misha get her off the teacher's back. Help her to get her off his back. So what do you need?
Here's a list. I could try and find the plywood from somewhere if there's none in the art room.
She offers me the note she's holding. I take it, hesitating a bit. I said I'd help, but this has no implications on whether or not I'm joining the council.
Aww. Still, thanks, Hee-chan. Try to be quick. We're still in the stall building streak now. We must hurry, hurry, hurry.
She bounces out of the classroom, leaving me and the teacher looking at each other with something that feels like a silent agreement. Well, there you have it, Nakai. You have something to do now. Please don't sound so smug. Looking at the list with a number of items ranging from paint to plywood, all written in small, neat handwriting that is undoubtedly Shizune's, I heave a sigh. I guess I'll be going then. Waving the long list limply at the teacher, I exit into the hallway. The classrooms closest to ours are designated belonging to the classes 3-1 and 3-2 on the right side and 3-4 on the left, each door looking exactly the same. Further down the corridor, still with identical doors, are rooms that I didn't think we were used for any classes. I guess the art room is not a classroom as such. I carefully push open the furthest door and peek in. It's a classroom, but it seems rather badly kept or not in use. Am I in the right place? Looks like any art classroom to me. Desks and chairs are all around the room with a thin layer of dust settled on them. There are some easels in the corner, so it at least looks like the right place. The room is flushed with sunlight from the big windows, shadows creeping all over the desks. Specks of dust are dancing in the stagnant air, making the beams of light almost visible. Brokenly, I call into the empty room. Anybody help? Something catches my eye and I stop mid-sentence. Aha. Sitting on a desk is a short-haired girl, curiously wearing a boy's uniform, with a fork between her toes and morsel of food stuck firmly on the end. This odd way of dining seems to be caused by the apparent lack of hands, but her presence here is what takes me back even more. Why did I miss her before? She's sitting in the corner very still. I somehow took her as part of the furnishing room. Statue at first glance. I'm not being too observant today as a whole. The girl seems to be frozen in place, staring at me with her huge eyes like a rabbit in headlights. She's staring at me, her mouth open wide, except the fork. I'm staring at her, my mouth wide open, suddenly remember I didn't finish my sentence and trying to think if I should. The weird stalemate keeps us both stunned into silence, punctuated only by the wall clock ticking rhythmically. Hello? The girl stuffs the forkful in her mouth and is now staring at me expectantly while chewing. This is a bit awkward. Hi. I was told to pick up some supplies from here for some festival stalls. I didn't think there would be someone in here. There isn't. That's why I came here too. She picks up another forkful. Does that mean you're here then? She raises her eyebrows as if she was suspecting my observation was false. I'm pretty observant, I guess. I guess it does, but how are you? The girl's pretty straightforward, isn't she? I'm Nakai. It's Nakai. I just transferred in on Monday. I'm Rin. Tezuka Rin. Rin Tezuka. I won't shake hands with you, but at least we know who we are now. It's very nice. Her deadpan manner of talking makes it hard to determine whether she's joking about shaking hands or not. It kind of bothers me joking about these matters. It doesn't really feel appropriate at all. Well, I'm trying to figure out what's appropriate and whether this girl is. She seems to have lost interest in me and is now gazing yearningly back at her food. Can I continue my lunch? If you don't mind me, I won't mind you. If you need to get your stuff, the supplies are at the back. Go right ahead, but lunch? So school's already over for the day. What word would you use then? There's no word for a meal you eat after lunch, but before dinner, right? Bothers me very much too, but I don't really know what I should say. I don't think you're supposed to eat a meal between lunch and dinner to begin with. But I'm hungry now, and my delicious box lunch would go to waste otherwise. I have curry. It's very delicious. With much decisiveness, Rin once again picks up the fork between her toes, and with at least as much impoliteness, she points it straight at me. So, Nakai, what brings you to this place? Well, like I said, I was going to look for these things. No, the school. On the outside, you look fine. No problem inside? I come to a full stop, opening my mouth, but not getting a word out. I can guess. I'm good at guessing. Better than most people. Ren cuts me off before I can answer a question, or skirt around it somehow. I don't know which I would have done. I froze in front of the issue again. I haven't even told anyone here about my condition, or maybe it's only because it hasn't really come up. I do get the feeling that I'm not making issues, that not making issues with this is part of the social code here, but as the teacher said, I wonder if the people here could relate. Probably not better than any other normal person could. Can't relate to she's in these circumstances, or Lily's either. Naturally, while I go through this in my head, Ren keeps considering what my condition could be, with an overly contemplative look on her face. She puts her fork between her lips and leans back, looking at the ceiling as if the answer was written up there. A beam of light illuminates her face from the window side, creating a mask of dark shadow on the other side. I don't think it's anything in your head, and something in your guts would be boringly ordinary, like this lunch of mine, and less delicious. The problem must be in your pants. This is a messed up Sherlock Holmes kind of statement, and the sheer lack of tact it was delivered with catches me completely off guard. I think I might have reeled back even physically as Rin's eyes widened in revelation and astonishment. So I was right. There's something wrong with your tackle, isn't there? Still particularly in shock, but recognizing the need to reply something, I spit out the first thing I could think of. No, nothing like that. I have a heart problem. A rhythmia. I said it. Well, I could blurt it out, but I said it. The girl in front of me purses her lips together and glowers at me, looking very disappointed. Not boring. Trouble in the pants would have been much more scandalous. What's with this reaction? Sorry to let you down.
I forgive you. Just collect people in a person with, that kind of problem really would have been great. Oh, I just collect people in a person with, that kind of problem would have been really great.
Collect people?
People with different problems.
So you just, go around asking people what's wrong with them?
Pretty much.
Interesting. With little left to say, Rin resumes her lunch and the conversation dies away, but I kept thinking about what she said. It's the first time I told anyone about my condition. All the other people have either known about it already or heard about it from someone else. Or didn't need to know about it, like every other student here so far. Should I have told it as part of a natural round of introductions? Was that expected of me? I'm Hisao. I have a very serious heart condition. Is that how I'm supposed to go around introducing myself from now on? As if our disabilities would define us. Disgusting thoughts. Maybe this Tezuka girl is just a natural interest in such things. As I walk back to the back of the room, I pick the items up on Misha's list. A chance opens to study Rin from the corner of my eye. Her hair is a burnt auburn, almost orange, and cropped short. Longer hair would have probably been impossible with no arms. The boy's uniform and the lack of arms make her look very thin, almost scrawny. She's not particularly pretty except for her murky green eyes, which flicker restlessly from below her short bangs, even when she eats. The distance and the shadows make it seem like they don't reflect sunlight at all, but instead absorb all of it with them like deep wells. She moves her feet almost as deftly as a normal person would use their arms. However, I can see how this sight would discomfort people, especially while eating. It makes me feel a bit uncomfortable, at least. I hesitate to think about the word unnatural. It's a little too late now, isn't it? I keep searching for the cabins and cabinets and shelves for Misha's things. After enough time passes, the silence grows too uncomfortable, so I try and force some conversation out of the strange girl. So, do you always eat alone this late, or do you get, the occasional visitor?
Visitors? Maybe you're my first occasional visitor. I don't eat alone either. Sometimes I eat with a certain person on the roof. She's not horsing around.
Horsing?
She likes to do sports.
Oh. And that's all I can think to say. Both of us fall silent again, as Rin forks the last bits of her meal into her mouth. I look down at my hull and double-check it with Misha's list. Says I have everything except plywood. So I think I have all the things now.
That's very nice for you. Don't feel obliged to stay. I was about to take a nap anyway. You need to do whatever you're gonna do with that stuff anyway, right? Or perhaps you like to watch girls sleeping?
I'm not sure what to make of this, but Rin looks serious. Even if I did, I think I have to be going. I'll catch you around, Tezuka.
You can call me Rin. I feel that our relationship is at the point good enough to warrant this much.
I was already turning to make my exit, but she draws me back in. Fine then. I'm Hisao.
Then you are.
Rin looks at me hard in the eyes, but that intimidating feeling you get when someone stares at you isn't there. It's like she's not actually looking at me at all. It blinks a couple times, and I can't figure out why a pause like this just popped out between us out of nowhere.
See you later, Hisao.
There's something like a tiny smile there in her face, maybe. I quietly back out of the room. As I shut the door in front of my face, I whisper to myself, what an intriguing person. From the inside, I hear a muffled sing-song voice.
I heard that. What did you hear?
I jump at the sudden appearance of Misha, who had not heard approaching despite being a completely empty hallway. Somehow she'd gotten to jumping distance of me without making a sound. Creepy. It briefly reminds me of Kenji's nutty theory about a global feminist conspiracy, but I push that thought aside. Shizune, standing slightly behind Misha, looks aloof, as she couldn't have heard the remark that drew Misha's attention, but Misha is visibly excited.
No, wait, more importantly, who's in there? There are no club meetings today.
She tries to curiously peek past me, even though the door prevents her from seeing anyways. What are you doing here?
You took so long that we had to come check what's wrong. That's no good, Hee-chan.
She wags her finger at me scoldingly.
I found plywood, but everything else is still missing because you are tardy.
Oh, sorry. Not the things here. I was just bring them.
I think you're up to some mischief, Hee-chan. Who's in there with you, I wonder?
Misha signs something quickly to Shizune, pointing at her own ear a couple of times. Shizune immediately pushes her way past me and opens the door to the classroom I had just left. I can only imagine the shock she's experiencing. With Shizune's diligence and attitude, the insolence of daring to deface school property by sleeping on top of it must be too much to bear. And indeed, she stares at Rin, frozen in place apart from the slight but noticeable trembling of her shoulders. From suppressed rage, I'm sure. Instead of blowing up, Shizune just takes a few deep breaths, adjusts her glasses, and slams the door shut, turning to side furiously at Misha. Maybe she did blow up, but I can't understand it. That's an angry face if ever I did see one. She shoots a very loaded stare at me too, as if it was somehow my fault that Rin is sleeping on one of the tables. I hope she's not getting any funny ideas about the reason for my tardiness. Hello. Rin's voice comes from the other side of the door, and it takes a few eye blinks to realize that she might have trouble opening it. I open the door and find Rin directly behind it, looking at us with half-interested, half-sleepy face. Hello?
Miss Tezuka, what do you think you're doing? You absolutely are not permitted to use school property for such a disgraceful activity.
It sure is suddenly very crowded in here. I don't think I was this popular. It's hard to say whether she's happy or unhappy about this turn of events. At any rate, she ignores Shizune/Misha's scolding, so they have no choice but to drop the issue. Shizune taps Misha's shoulder, points at Rin, and makes some quick signs.
Popularity aside, please don't do that anymore. Anyway, how's your project going? Will it be done for the festival?
Rin looks at them blankly, apparently at ease under the pressure of Shizune's cold stares putting on her. I keep wondering about that myself, too.
And?
We'll think about it later. As Misha signs her reply to Shizune's, her face turns to an unsatisfied frown.
Miss Jessica, please try to take this seriously. It'd be a disaster if
if the wall looked like somebody threw up their lunch at it. Rin nods assertively. I will think more seriously. Misha actually giggles at that, but Shizune doesn't. Not even after the translation. She just shakes her head and takes the materials from me and takes off with Misha in tow. Rin frowns thoughtfully as she looks after the retreating student council duo. That was rude. True though, I gotta finish my project before the weekend. There will be dire consequences if I don't. The end of the world as we know it. Like weekends usually are, but more dire. Much more dire. Maybe I'll postpone my nap to an unforeseen future. I'm about to ask what project she has and what are these apocalyptic consequences, but she walks back into the art classroom. Since you have nothing to do, would you give me a hand? This paint doesn't really fit into my bag, but I need it. She kicks lightly at a huge can of paint that's lying on the floor next to the table she was sitting and sleeping on. It lets out a dull clang. Being the gentleman I am, I naturally pick it up. Heavy. Yeah, sure. When do you need to take it? Away. And with that, she takes off into the hallway, and me, a paint can, following since there's little choice for either of us. The hallway is quiet and empty now, with Shizune and Misha gone, so we too leave towards the stairwell on the other end. Every 10 or 15 or 20 steps, that was weird, I have to change the can from one hand to the other because the thin handle cuts into my palm, which keeps my arms from tiring too fast. Rin strolls on behind me at an uneven pace that even I have trouble matching. Maybe I'm tired walking weird because of the extra weight. It seems one of us is constantly walking too slow or too fast, but I can't figure out which. 2 flights of stairs below, trouble appears in the form of the head nurse and his fox-like grin.
Ah, Mr. Nakai, what a happy coincidence. Jessica, of course.
He nods courteously to Rin, who does not acknowledge him back, then turns to me because obviously it's me he has business with.
There is something I forgot to mention on Monday.
I nod and wait impassively because I can't even begin to guess what I forgot. The feeling of the handle delving deeper into my skin doesn't make me feel enthusiastic about this interruption either.
It's about your medication. Since you haven't been that long in your current medications, there may be some unexpected side effects, which might require adjusting dosages or even changing to another kind of medication. So we will do a few tests regularly, but what I'd want for you to do is to keep an eye on everything in your condition that feels off, if you get what I mean. Nausea, headache, anything could leave me anything happens. Alright. So how are you? Everything fine? I give up and drop the can to the floor before answering it. Apparently this takes longer than my biceps can handle. I'm about to say something generic as an answer, but then I realize how often I've done that lately. Other people have asked me that too. People and students here. Parents, visitors, nurses, doctors at the hospital. Everyone seems to be concerned about that. It's natural for a hospital. Not so much for a school.
Everyone seems to be... Oh, except this school. This is a small school, and both the student base and the faculty seem to be very tightly knit. At least that's the feeling I'm getting. And this is not the kind of school that gives transfer students too often. The thought sends shivers up my spine, but I give a generic answer anyway. That's great. Also, one other thing. My sources tell me that you've been at neither the school track nor even the pool, so I'd like to know if you've taken up exercising as I ask. Of course I haven't. But this way I'm inquiring gives me the feeling that I should have been running my ass off the track since the very first day. You have people spying on me? Not as such. I just happen to know a few people. That's not the issue here, so don't try to slip out of it. Well, I was actually going to do some improvised weightlifting as an exercise. Look up the can and lift the can up and lift it up and down a few times, like some sad imitation of the bodybuilder, even though it's weighing down my arms painfully. The stupid grin disappears from his face for a second, then comes back like it was never gone. Liz, could you give us a second? The nurse grabs me by the shoulder without waiting for Rin's permission, which he didn't need in the first place, and drags me aside. When I told you to exercise, I wasn't joking. I understand that you're still on your first week and all, but please don't ignore the importance of this. The reason I'm coming down this hard on you is the habits are not easy to form. The more you slip and postpone, the harder it'll be. Same with everything, like dieting. Can you promise me to be more serious about this from now on? Yeah, I promise, definitely. He studies for a moment, then shrugs, smiling again. Okay, that's more like it. If we go to the school track tomorrow morning, you'll meet my spy, who probably has no qualms offering consultation to you if you want to jog a bit. Consultation? See you around. He leaves with a wave of his hand and no answer, and I walk to Rin, who has been waiting, idly, leaning against the hallway wall and staring at the pale lighting fixtures in the ceiling. Even when I approach, she doesn't move her eyes off of them. Are you getting medications for your heart thingy? Were you listening? It comes out more accusatory than I intended, accidentally lashing out at her. But even so, I don't really want to start talking about it. I just met her, and I don't really know about her. It's not her business. The nurse seems to be happily ignorant about confidentiality, too, talking about that kind of things in public. It's not really Rin's fault, is it? I look up at her, suddenly feeling slightly guilty, but Rin is just staring past my shoulder, quizzically, her head tilted like a bird's. Sigh. Where's my water? I'm taking a little bit of a water break. It's already been like a full 45 minutes? Wow. It hasn't even been a full in-game day. I don't know why this is so hard for me. It feels like there's some sort of inexplicable lock that prevents me from being more upfront about this. Yeah, they're from my heart. Will they make you better? No, not really. They just make me a little less worse. Rin keeps looking at me for a little while longer. She neither says anything further nor displays any kind of emotion I could discern. I'm thankful she doesn't, really. I think I'm still not quite getting used to this. At the hospital it was easy, but I still haven't sorted my feelings about having to live a normal life with this disability. We leave the main building and Rin leads onward towards the dorm. We stop at the small patch of greenery in front of the dorm building. The dorm is built on a slightly elevated ground with a wall and a few trees that everyone has to circle around every time they come or go. It's probably the only inconvenient design in the school. Is this place even wheelchair accessible? That's weird. The entire wall, made of the same kind of brick as the building itself, has been covered in some sort of a painting. Most of it is still mere sketches, quick lines drawn with black and white against the grey plastering that covers almost the entire length of the wall, but some places look a bit more finished. There are human faces and legs and hands. I can't quite say what painting as a whole might portray. Stacks of what seems to be paint cans are arranged in piles on the ground beside the wall. See, the left side's hardly off the ground yet. It's because I can't get in the mood yesterday, so I gave up and went to meditate instead. Then it was suddenly morning. I have to work on it, but the guys from the art class are helping with the negative spaces and base surfaces whenever, which is also a problem. It's easier to paint big areas if there are a lot of people. You know, with hands. The reach is better and it's faster too. She goes on a tangent, waving a little with her arm or whatever of it there actually is to demonstrate, even though I got the point already. The white cotton of her sleeve flaps around, and I realize it makes me think it could look sadder than it does. It makes me feel a little out of place, like almost every tangible reminder of the student base's special properties has in the past few days. The girl doesn't notice my dreary feelings, of course, to the fact that she lost me a while ago already, and just keeps on blabbering. So that's why I'm trying to figure out if there's something I need to figure out, and then figure out that out before it's too late and all hope is lost. Why would the hope be lost? Because paint has to be painted, and then it has to dry, and then it has to be painted over with another kind of paint. It takes time. She finally stops, apparently thinking she made some kind of statement that makes sense. I think it's best to start from the top. So this is your project. You did this. Yes, you did this. Good like that. All of it. Yes. Nice, but I stumble with my words, suddenly feeling like I walked straight into the minefield of political incorrectness. It's okay. You can say it. I probably won't get mad. I blush really hard. I don't really know what would be the right thing to say, if any. Feels like I'm way more sensitive than Rin is, though. This is really awkward. Don't you want to ask? How do you paint without hands? See? I'm an easy person to talk to, right? With my feet. I almost guessed that already, but isn't that kind of hard to do? You get it guessing. Anyway, I don't think it is, but maybe I'm used to it by now. I can't get my mind around the fact that she could be an artist, but seeing how adept she was at using her feet to eat, I figured painting might not really be hard either. Neither of us has anything more to add on the subject. The afternoon light works pretty well. I was afraid it would look too flat, but it's not like that after all. I think it's actually pretty interesting. I wanted to see what it looks like in dim light. Do you think it's flat? Well, paintings tend to be flat. Not like that flat. You know, flat. Like some people are, no substance, no meat, where there should be some. I know a few girls who, okay, I get it, but I couldn't really tell. I'm not that good with art. I can't really name many artists or artistic terms, so I don't really have anything to say. Rin shrugs her shoulders as if saying suit yourself. Without saying it, looks up at the sky as if trying to look for something up there. I don't think I'd get any actual work done, but if you give me a hand with the paints, I could do just a little before it gets too dark. I wanted to get a halogen lamp like the ones they have at the sports track, but there really aren't any. Rin sure is quick to recruit my help, as was Shizune. I feel like the festival is such a big project that every pair of hands is needed. Why not? I'm not really sure if I can be of any help, though. Just mixing some paints. You could do that, probably. Yeah, motor control problems, like, those people who have some. Cerebral palsy, maybe? Not that I know of. I get it. Art thinking has nothing to do with that. He gives me a sly look for no reason. No, it doesn't. Let's do it then. So she sits on an empty wooden box and very naturally picks up a wide brush between the toes of her bare right foot. I open a few of the cans and pour some of the contents into some shallow bowls for mixing. The thick paints flow lazily from the can to the bowl, like syrup. I mix them, creating funny, hypnotic-looking swirl patterns that melt quickly into each other to form a monotone hue. Rin sets to work every now and then, asking me for a hand with something or the other. Finding different brushes is easy enough, but mixing the paints to be the exact tone that this girl is apparently seeing in her head is a frustrating ordeal. She wants precision down to the last millimeter before she's satisfied, but her instructions are obscure at best. Add half a splash of green. I crouch down to pick up a can of the bright green. The other green. This green. And carefully pour some of the other green paint into the mixing bowl. No, that's almost a whole splash. More white. Is green a good color to add? No idea. You're the artist here. A hint of a smile appears at the corners of her mouth. Do you lack an opinion? No, it's just I don't really have an idea. It's okay, because I've got an idea. Add more white. With this exclamation, I pour a minuscule amount of white into the bowl and mix it. It's slightly, whiter. That's not good. It has to be like the color when you wake up and know you saw the meaning of life in your dreams, but can't remember it. It's yellow. Despite the impossibility of mixing a color like the change of seasons or any other nonsense that's being imposed on me, I find myself enjoying it more than I thought I would. Seeing the painting being born on the plastered wall feels like magic. I spend the moments I have between mixing paints, crouching down on the paving, and just looking at her work. It feels slightly intrusive at first, like breaking some imaginary intimacy. But Rin doesn't seem to mind at least, in the least bit. Maybe it's just in my head. Her entire presence emits a completely different air as she patiently works the details, adding layers of paint on top of other layers of paint, steadily moving her foot across the wall to add new shapes. When I manage to produce a passable mixture of paint, the very smile on her face is oddly rewarding. Apart from few words, when discussing paint mixes, neither of us has a word for the longest time. And even those short discussions soon evolve into a shorthand, both of us developing and using weird impromptu code words for various paint hues. As if there was some need to conserve words and breath and sound. We stay there late into the evening until it becomes too dark to paint properly. Katawa Shoujo. Katawa Shoujo. The sound of an alarm pulls me out of a fitful slumber into the unpleasant state of wakefulness. I linger under the blanket for a few minutes, gathering energy to rise up while making excuses for why I haven't already. Honestly, I wouldn't mind staying here all day. School is surprisingly exhausting. After a long pause, and the culture shock still has not faded, I think. Still, despite getting an impression that skipping class is easy here, I don't think they're going to let me get away that easy. And the nurse is bound to keep breathing down my neck with the talk of exercising as well. So eventually I do rise up, swallow the morning medications, and put on my old soccer clothing. Thanks to my condition, I was exempted from taking part in gym classes at Yamaku, so I didn't get issued with a gym outfit. I'd order some to cover such a contingency, but wearing my old soccer clothes is kind of nostalgic. I can't use them for that anymore, so maybe they can get a new life this way, a bit like me. After all, if I'm going to start taking care of myself, I can't afford to slack around. I'll start from the basics. Basics which include keeping the rest of my body in shape, along with what little I can do to strengthen my heart. Maybe I can go back to something approaching a normal life, or at least something where I'm less likely to fall over dead at any minute. I'm surprised to discover that I'm not the only one present at the track. Not just that, but it's a face I've seen before. The prosthetic leg girl who bowled me over the hallway yesterday is running on the track lively, like a half-mechanical gazelle. What was her name again? It was kind of a short one, but I can't remember. She seems to be running laps at a somewhat easy lope, her prosthetic legs clacking rhythmically on the hard track surface. I wonder what reason she has for running this early in the morning. Maybe it's something akin to mine, and the nurses are oppressing the poor girl to jog like Nikki is oppressing me. So I certainly wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my health, and it was prompting me to do so. Even with things being as they are, it's only because I wanted to get out of the way early. The fact that I would be less likely to encounter someone who would witness my pitiful attempts to get in shape was merely a happy accident. I'd leave, but it seems like my former assailant noticed me on her last lap. She waves at me cheerfully and jogs over. I already forgot her name, or her voice. Give me a second, because the water thing is a diminishing returns, and I need more water. Where did I leave it? There it is. Should have found the other bottle. I wonder if I can stand. I'm going to be moving the mic around, so be aware of that. And I'm sorry beforehand. I'm taking like voice lessons, and they're teaching me how to like stand and sit properly. Maybe this is going to help a little bit.
Good morning. Your name is Sal, right?
She grins, seemingly pleased that she's remembered my name.
You may not remember me. Amy? I knocked you over in the hall yesterday.
How could I forget such a blunt introduction? Amy has the decency to look vaguely apologetic for a moment before giggling.
Yeah, sorry about that. Again.
Well, as long as you don't make it a habit, I guess. I suppose it'll be fine.
Great.
I'm not sure if she realized I was joking. So the spy consultant the nurse was talking about, is that actually you?
That's right.
Well, I was expecting someone from the nursing staff, to be honest.
What are you saying? I don't look like I could be a spy?
No, this is more like a relief. I was afraid I'd have to be I'd have someone to watch my every move. Unless you are here to do exactly that.
No, I'm here for my own reasons. The nurse asked me if I had seen a messy-haired transfer student who looks like he's kind of lost around the track.
So why are you down here? Amy strikes a dramatic pose.
Training.
What?
Track.
Oh, I see. So you're on the track team then? Amy nods enthusiastically.
Yep, I'm one of the better runners too.
I'm modest about it too.
Hey, you should join up. It's good exercise, you know.
I think that much activity is probably out of the question for me. I'm not even really sure I like running that much. Plus, I'm, not into organized sports, It's true. I've never really got that much into soccer. I mean, I'd run around with my friends and all, but that was really the only reason I ever played. It wasn't for the glory to be found at the field, that's for sure. Amy seems to understand my meaning.
I see. Not into the whole organization thing. But now that you're here, I guess we're going to run together, huh?
What? Sure, I guess. Amy seems pleased.
Are you going to warm up?
Real men don't need to warm up.
Oh no, you should always warm up. Bad he sound.
She scolds me enthusiastically, but then smiles and leans closer.
I hate warming up too.
She laughs suddenly.
Heck, I don't even have to stretch my legs.
As if to confirm her statement, she bounces up and down a couple times, leaving a passing impression of standing on a pair of springs. Her leg blades seem to be quite elastic.
Let's go.
So we both take off around the track, and I can immediately see that she wasn't lying about being good at running. Amy moves fluidly, throwing herself into the run with a sort of wild abandon. I find myself concentrating more on running properly. Hands spread, right? And something about hitting on the ball of your feet rather than the heels? I try to match my stride to Emmy's, but it's pretty difficult. Apparently, I'm not really good at it. Maybe Emmy could help me with that sometime. I'm not really feeling up to more than a couple of laps today, and slow to a walk pretty quickly. Emmy keeps running and doesn't seem to notice I've stopped until she passes me a second time. She quickly skids to a halt, breathing steadily in contrast to my own somewhat gasping demeanor.
Finished already?
I hang my head ruefully. Yeah. I'm not in a great shape right now. Amy nods, then grins at me again. She seems to do a lot of smiling.
Well, the important thing is that you started, right? Next time you'll just have to hold out longer, and then longer, and longer, and eventually you'll do great.
I'll keep that in mind. But I think right now I gotta go get ready for class. Shouldn't you? Amy shrugs unconcernedly.
Nah, I got plenty of time.
Ooh, I got plenty of time. I notice she's not wearing a watch. Are you sure? Another careless shrug.
Not really, but I gotta finish my routine. See you later, Hisao.
Yeah, see ya. I'm not sure whether this morning's experiment was a success or a failure, but I'll admit that I do feel slightly good about getting out there in the morning. And like Emmy said, I just need to keep at it in order to get better, right? Practice makes perfect, or something like that. It's nice to at least feel like I've taken some semblance of control over my own health. I have to try to keep this up. I head back to the dorms to wash and change my uniform, trying to resist the urge to take a really long and hot shower. That sounds nice. I'm tired from all the running, so I just want to unwind, but I don't want to break my slowly building routine of getting into the school before the morning rush. And now that I'm looking, the mural has actually been added to. More color this time. After taking a long shower anyway, I dry myself off and get out of the stall to put on my clothes. God, he's here too. Oh, that's right, it's communal. Out of nowhere, a shadow appears with the mist, looking and radiating malicious intent. It bursts through the fog.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Well, you scared me. What's your problem?
Should be asking you then. I've been looking all over for the place, man.
What do you mean all over the place? I want to ask if he's been looking for me like that, stark naked, but hold my tongue back. I finally realize I'm still naked too and quickly hold up my shirt in front of me, but Kenji doesn't seem to notice a thing. Well, he is partially blind. His glasses are fogged up, but then why doesn't he just wipe them off? Is his vision so bad it's like he's perpetually seeing through a fog?
You know your room, and yeah, that's it. Hey, I mean, still had to get up though. Whatever, it's not important. How about your money?
He puts on an innocent face and looks away, trying very hard to look very casual. It doesn't work. He's transparent as his pain-sized glasses. Talking neutrally like this, wearing nothing, feels awkward. Actually, somehow, it's even more awkward to be naked in front of someone when they can't see me being naked, to say nothing of the fact that he's naked as well. I try to brush the feeling off with little success. Sure. Gosh. Wait, why do you need it?
Just give me some because it's going well. Can't you just give it to me because I had to go run up to a bunch of your buckets while you were in the shower? I could, but I exercise restraint. And, don't they go over the sunset house? Come on, be a pound.
This makes no sense. If it's the thought that counts, I should withhold payment, since his thoughts were so clearly impure as his intentions are probably even more sinister, since he can't tell me what they are. I say as much.
I'm offended, man. Because that's your game, then fine. I think I have no choice. I won't order a pizza. I already have the boosted to cost of 18, and need your help for the best.
I guess I want that pizza too, right?
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I will give you some, but you have plenty, and you don't have time to eat a pizza.
What about you?
I'm going to class. You have to wait for the pizza to pay the guy. Or then eat it. It's not easy. You have to obtain the pizza stealthily. If you don't, everyone will see you on the pizza, and they'll ask for a slice. It's a hard world out there. Everyone's peace. When you're left teachless in an unforgiving world, it's happened before. So I know. Every day I plan my vengeance. So that when people who wronged me in order to order a pizza, I'll be there. When people think
It just strikes the dramatic pose completely without irony.
yeah, I only need like 400 yen. Hey, it's only hope. I can't go outside and buy my own pizza. How far? Trying to go out unless it's absolutely necessary. Let me tell you what happened last time we went out without carefully planning it out in bed. I was outside. I remember what I was doing. It was something. Wondering how I got there. And then out of nowhere, it happens. A flash of lightning, split in the sky. And there was split sandwiches in 2 equal pieces that make it more manageable for him to eat. A bird cracked on my head. Or the second most shocking moment of my life.
What was the first? He ignores me and keeps going. I grab him and shake him, but he's just trying... I want to grab him and shake him. Is he trying to keep his momentum? I go with that, even though it's more likely that he just didn't hear me.
It was like in the opening of some anime show. You know how there's always a part with the main dude who's fighting his rifle, and then they fly at each other and crash swords, and there's like big dramatic colored auras you zoom? It was like that, but with you.
Okay.
So yeah, I need your money, please. Leave me hanging, man. I only need 1,000 yen.
I thought it was 400.
Okay. What? I'll pay you back, I swear.
You better. That's what it means to borrow stuff.
I didn't know when I'd be able to pay you back, though.
You have 1 week. Angie winches and making noise like a dying cow. Particularly disturbing fact given that his baton is conducting freely.
What the fuck, bro? I'm not supposed to be so dialect about money between brothers in arms, man. Men have it bad enough as it is. You know that male porn stars only make about half what female porn stars make?
What does that mean anything unless you're a porn star?
Or maybe I am a porn star. On the side, struggling to make ends meet as I fight the feminist agenda. You can't even spot me your crumbs, you bastard. Nobody understands. Nobody.
Wouldn't feminists be against pornography in the first place? This feminist agenda shit again?
This stuff's important. I can see that you don't give a shit, but you're serious here, feminist. Our dangerous enemy, make no mistake. You take the night and you wake up in the morning with a knife in your back. Bam! Out of nowhere.
How do you wake up in the morning with someone stab you in your sleep?
Women are terrible at stabbing things.
I thought you just said don't take them lightly.
Well, I mean don't take them lightly for the big thing. Individually, they're not a threat. But if there was some kind of war, like a big war, with men on one side and feminist bullshit on the other, it'd be pretty ugly. And that day will come. When the feminists come out of their central top-secret worldwide feminist headquarters and say, "It's on now, motherfuckers."
You're being ridiculous. There's no worldwide feminist headquarters building where would they even hide that? I mean, it had to be massive. You couldn't hide that on Earth. Someone would notice a big fortress with women only in it.
Who said it was on yours?
I turn away from Kenji and start practicing frowning faces in the mirror so I can figure out what kind of frown will best express my emotions. They can't see me from this distance anyway. Which unfortunately means that he just keeps on ranting without any regard to sensibility.
There's a war going on, a war not many know about. It's a great one that will one day boil over and encompass all the known world. Then we'll have to pick sides. We'll have to make a stand. In fact, it's happening right now. Imagine it.
bloody battlefield. He's still naked, by the way. He's saying all this while naked. It's fucking weird. Imagine it, a bloody battlefield. Vicious conflict without end. I almost gave up when I thought it was silly. Then I grew tired of the blatantly separate fight. When I mistook the time and power went out for a feminist raid, and I thought the end was near. Then I realized that if I gave up, it would all be over. And it was like, whoa. And I knew I had to get serious. Because I'm the last sane man in an unsane world. It's about duty. Must be a crazy, crappy movement if all hinges on one naked guy ranting in a bathroom at another naked guy. So can I have the money or not? He's walking the way out. It's getting cold because I'm still naked and I want to go to class, so I had to agree to spot him the money. Awesome, thank you. We can go bowling later on. It's always fun to go bowling. Bowling? Yeah, it's the ultimate sport. There's almost no women bowlers either, making it also the manliest sport. Can I wear my pink bowling shirt and matching shoes or the pastel green with the flower accents? I think the flower accents would probably get in the way of bowling. You should probably just go for the pink one. There are bowling clothes? Maybe. Anyway, you'd better pay me back. Pay you back my stuff, right? I don't have the time to ask him to elaborate on what that means. I don't know. I had to get to class. You're kind of in the way. Oh, yeah, sorry. Didn't want to hold you up. I have some stuff to do myself. The time has come. Time for what? I just like saying that. Okay, now the time really has come. For what? I have to use the bathroom. Get out. I was going to. But what does that mean? It's a big bathroom, man. No, I have to be alone or else you can't go. Pressure. Okay, what if somebody else comes in? Let's think of something. I give him my practiced frown, and it looks kind of silly reflected in his glasses. He either doesn't notice or doesn't see. Anyway, he either doesn't notice or doesn't see anyway, so I get dressed and run back to my room, feeling as though an eternity has passed since I woke up. What a fucking... That is the time I will never get back. I'm getting through this somehow. But right now I have to get to class. I'm the first person in class today, although I think I'm a little too early. Then again, sitting alone here for 20 minutes sure beats having to suffer that time with Kenji. The combination of fatigue, frustration, and boredom starts making me feel very tired. I black out for a second, waking up when my head hits the surface of my desk. Been there before. Rubbing my forehead, I realized this was as good a reason as any to stay up for now and stop coming to class so early later. Eventually I hear a tapping noise outside the hallway, and Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. She's not in this class, so she must have some other business. Maybe she's looking for Hanako. Lily stops at the door, looking hesitant as if she was a vampire who can't come in unless invited. I consider doing so because she looks rather lonesome standing there. She steps into her in of her own accord, though, after straightening her skirt and shirt collar as if it was important to look prim when entering our classroom. Excuse me? She calls into the quiet classroom with a probing, delicate voice. I realize the silence might unnerve her because of her blindness, so I break it. Good morning, Lily. Isao? Good morning. I didn't hear you come in. I wonder if she thinks it's suspicious I didn't say anything to her before. It's likely if I were to tell her too big a lie now, it would sink me. Well, I was already here, just asleep until now. Oh? Have you seen Hanako today by any chance? Nah, she seems to only come in before the bells ring. Or after. Do you want me to tell her something for you? No, it's fine. It's strange, but I think there are only 2 people in the school right now. I didn't hear anyone else on the way here. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten up so early today. You're chastising yourself for doing something that other people should? Punctuality is a good thing, I think. I think so anyway. It's a very busy morning today. The festival is coming up soon, and today's the deadline for event registration, which reports than any other official paperwork. It could be that everyone's trying to complete the necessary forms at the last minute. Maybe that's why it's so quiet today. Hi! Misha pops into the room with Shizune, as if on cue, shouting with a loudness that makes Lily visibly flinch. Hi, Hichan! Hey. Look, it's the class representative! Hello! Lily smiles, probably amused by Misha for Shizune's use of the word look. Good morning. Of course you're not the representative of this class, right? Right? I am not. Lily seems a little more guarded to her answers, in her answers to Shizune than she was with me the other day. I guess they really don't get along at all. Then I realized Lily might not actually know Shizune is president, and she's trying to detect whether or not she is. Know who she's talking to. For all she knows, she's just talking to Misha. And knowing that she is, and Shizune are practically inseparable, she might expect Shizune being the only one that actually talks. Damn, this is complicated. I decided to help Lily out for my own peace of mind more than anything else. You're here early, Shizune.
You were here even earlier than us.
Misha puffs out her cheeks angrily. Why is she getting angry? Does she feel emotions on Shizune's behalf too? It's not that weird though, and Shizune doesn't like my little comment. It's true I was here a little earlier than them, so me saying something like that could definitely be misinterpreted as anything. Especially to Shizune, who doesn't have the benefit of hearing tone to gauge intent. Before I can start weighing whether or not I should apologize, Shizune has already moved on.
Class rep, it's a good thing you're here. We have to talk. The festival's coming up in 3 days, right? Every other class has already handed in their projected budget reports for their events, even the first years. Except you. Waha!
There is still some time to hand it in, isn't there?
Today! The deadline's today! You're certainly taking your time, aren't you? If I had it my way, I'd have had all the necessary paperwork days ago, but someone had to say the deadline. Please extend it.
Yes, that was me. Planning something on this scale is not a small task. And a week is too small a time frame to expect a whole class to work out such a complex issue completely.
Do you want to know what's harder than distributing the funds for one class's event? Handling the same matter for every class in the school and then some. The one who does that is me.
Misha puts her hands on her hips and stands up straight. Now she really is getting into the role. Lily doesn't look very amused, though. Hey, Shizune, aren't you being kind of hard on her? There's still like a whole day left.
Please, Hasao, it's all right.
Lily seems happy taking her side, but I'm taking her side. But a bit conflicted that I might not think she can take care of herself.
This is about the budget that I'm disappointed.
You think I have forgotten about it. I understand how important it is.
Then, can I have it, please?
Shizune, she might not have it on her at this exact second. It's not here right now. I asked 2 students to take care of it for me. Students from my class. She emphasizes the last sentence much to my surprise. She knows Shizune and Misha's efforts to rope me into the student council. I guess word must have gotten around, so now she's using me as ammo against Shizune. This just gets better and better.
It was your responsibility. A budget report isn't something you should be delegating away. As class rep, it's your job to be on top of things. This kind of disregard for proper procedure is really just terrible.
They completed it, being capable of doing so. The students have been sick recently, so they could not come to school and give it back to me. If you want, I'll apologize on their behalf for getting sick.
Okay.
Although Misha misses Lily's little jab entirely, Shizune doesn't. She seems torn between being offended by Lily's daring and jumping for joy at the prospect of a challenge.
Lily, don't they live here at the school? That's a 5-minute walk, you know. What could they possibly have that prevents them from taking 5 minutes out of their busy lives to drop off something that'll affect the enjoyment of the entire class?
Lily opens her mouth to say something, but Shizune closes the gap between them and starts signing furiously, waving her hands like she's an orchestra conductor. Misha tries her best to convey the same passion, but can't seem to lose her normal cheerful tone. The result is something interesting and a little surreal.
And what's that attitude? I said it's not something that you should be delegating away. Are you the class representative or aren't you? Tell me the names of those 2 students. They should have your job if you can't even handle something this simple yourself.
One form isn't the full extent of what I'm supposed to take care of. Lily's tone is growing slightly impatient, but she's doing a good job of not letting Shizune see how unsettled she's becoming, playing her cards close to the chest. Shizune, on the other hand, wraps her fingers cheerfully along the edge of her glasses, knowing Lily can neither hear nor see how excited she is.
Of course, you're so much better, class. You do so much, class rep. It must be so difficult being you.
Lily tightens her lips at Misha's words, clearly understanding the intent behind them, even though Misha delivers them without even a hint of sarcasm, which they were meant to have. Shizune and Lily don't like each other. That much is clear, but this seems a little much. It seems like Lily has had enough and is ready to push back. Ooh. Okay. I was actually just discussing the budget report before you came by. You must be very talented to have finished all your student council duties so quickly that you can track me down to make sure I don't forget my own.
Are you accusing me of slacking off? It seems you're confusing me with yourself. I don't think so. It would be very difficult thing for me to do, comparing myself to you. You're right. The difference between us is like heaven and hell. And it's not hard to guess which one you might represent. Okay, do we need the air between them ripples with the heat of their enmity? Well, not really. They can't disguise it anymore, though. Even Misha looks like she's beginning to understand the real nature of this conversation. Stop fighting. Hey, John, don't you slack off either. What are you talking about? Aren't you taking part in the festival, Hee-chan? You are, aren't you? Then, I hope you're going to do a lot more than make sure this goes smoothly than this person. I don't understand why Shizune is suddenly getting mad at me. Cut me and Lily some slack. Don't drag me into this. I've done my part. I'm really into them. I'm done my part. Like I kind of did, but like I can't really say I did anything like to completion. Slack, please. A little bit of understanding, maybe. Hey, I'm the new guy. Remember? I'm just a little guy. It's not like I could have done much even if I wanted. That's right. You shouldn't expect a transfer student to jump right into this on their first week. Lily taking my side feels oddly comforting, so I decided to back her up too. Yeah, you've been kind of unreasonable with us both. Excuses. Miss Claprip has plenty of time to deal with her report. We repeatedly offered you a position to help with the student council work, but you refused to commit yourself to making the festival a success. Yeah, but as I said back then, I'm not really sure if I don't have time for this right now. No matter what I do, it will mean being drawn into a confrontation with Shizune. And this is what she wants. Whatever. Forget it. I turn my back at them. Lily, class is going to be starting soon, so we can talk more later. I'll tell Hanako you were looking for her. I can feel Shizune freezing. Maybe this is the first time she's ever been ignored in such a blunt manner. Thank you, Hisao. I'll leave you now, then. She gives the sweetest smile I've seen all week, and then turns on her heels to make her exit. As soon as Lily walks out the door, I suddenly start feeling reluctant about turning to face Shizune. I can feel her eyes burning into my back, and I can't bring myself to look at her. She must be furious. I keep expecting Misha to say something to alleviate the tension, but it really is wanting too much. In the end, I go back to my seat and listen to the sound of Shizune's footsteps as she marches out of the classroom. She doesn't return for a few minutes before class. Hanako didn't come to this morning's class at all, leaving her seat looking empty and lonely at the back of the classroom. I have to tell her that Lily was looking for her if I see her later. After the events of this morning, class is pretty boring in comparison. I'm turning the pages of my textbook lazily. I have a bit of catching up to do, despite trying to keep up with my studies at the hospital, but I'm not feeling that enthusiastic about it. The clock in the front of the room sounds unbearably loud. The teacher hasn't said anything in over 7 minutes, instead opting to color the board in rows and rows of lines taken directly from the book. The rhythmic clashing of chalk on the blackboard seems to synchronize perfectly with the ticking of the clock. I started to copy down the equations just to pass the time, even though they are right there in the textbook. When the bell rings, I'm not in any hurry because I have nothing to do, so I stay for a while, reviewing what we covered in class today. I prefer to leave last anyway, so I don't have to deal with the crowding in the hallways. I noticed Shizune and Misha have also stayed behind, talking to someone from other classes. Shizune is signing so fast that her hands make noises like swords going through the air. Maybe there's pent-up anger in there. Misha's trying desperately to keep up, but it's clear that she can barely manage to even understand her. I put my head down. What are they discussing? Looks like serious business. Shizune signs to the point where her wrists crackle, and Misha struggles to spit it out in word form. Sometimes she trips over herself like she's dealing with tongue twisters, and then on top of that, she has to sign back anything the other girl says. Seems like a rough job. Misha looks tired, like she's about to faint. Luckily for her, the business is soon finished, and the girls sit down on their seats again. I'm so tired. She's hanging her head limply on the desk, looking exhausted. I use this opportunity to reconcile with Shizune a bit, without getting roped into the student council thing again, though I suspect that door is now closed for me. Festival preparations must be tough for you guys. Indeed, the people in the school seem to be taking this festival very seriously. Whenever I see people idling around before and after class, they're always talking about their plans for it. It's kind of neat to see everyone being so enthusiastic about it, though. I'm probably the only one who doesn't have anything to do. Shizune scoffs at me at first as if trying to decide whether to ignore or sneer at me, but in the end she starts signing without doing either. Misha perks up, looking at her hands with slightly unfocused eyes. She signs with harsh, heavy, dramatic strokes. Misha translates her signing into speech for me.
She does it so well, it's almost like she's actually speaking, transmitting her thoughts directly through Misha. She must have practiced it vigorously.
Well, of course, we're in student council, you know, so we're pretty busy. It's an important duty of ours to ensure the success of the festival with all our strength. We should shame ourselves in front of the past student council generations if the festival were to fail. That's why there must be no flaws or encumbrances. No, I think that would make this festival short of perfect.
Shizune's passionate speech and Misha's enacting are oddly fitting of them.
Oh, hello.
I look over my shoulders to see Hanako peering timidly into the classroom, most of her body hidden behind the door.
Hey, playing delinquent again?
Hanako blushes hard at Misha's straightforward jab, even if only in jest. Shizune stares at her probingly, causing Hanako to look down and start backing away, to the point where only her finger can be seen wrapped nervously around the edge of the door. Maybe she's showing her dislike of Hanako by association of her dislike of Lily. It appears so, and Hanako probably knows it as well. Well, what's up, Hanako?
Has Lily been here? Sorry, haven't seen Sato. She, came by this morning, though.
Hanako keeps looking uneasily at Shizune, who stares back at her with her usual studying gaze. What are you trying to do? Well, of course, Shizune isn't going to look away, and she's intimidating enough as it is, so I can only imagine how terrified Hanako would be. It's a little uncomfortable watching Hanako's reaction to Shizune's normal behavior. This is what happens when two people of two different extremes meet, it seems.
Do you know where she is?
If she has any sense in her head, she's in her classroom working on their festival project. Who knows where that woman's loitering at? Do you need to find her? I was looking for you in the morning, but I guess you've missed each other. He waits a little without answering this simple question, looking awfully like she's not sure if it's proper to answer such a question.
Yeah.
I can come with you. If that's okay. Hanako nods fractionally, still on guard, her shoulders stiff like wood. I get the feeling that she might be more comfortable by herself after all, but it's too late to back off now. She has this really troubled expression she seems to wear almost constantly, one that makes me consistently be on guard myself. Wonder why. I kind of understand why she seems to be so wary, or maybe more like why there could be a person like her. But I still have no idea how to act around such a person. It's dinner time soon. Were you planning to eat with Lily? She nods slightly. So she must have been trying to get in the cafeteria. Well, there's something of a dinner crowd, just like the cafeteria is crowded during lunch. Not as bad because dinner time is longer than lunch hour, but I can understand why Hanako would be discouraged from going in. I pick up my bag and we take our leave. Hanako skips a little to meet my initial pace, so I slow down to match her speed. It doesn't take long for us to be walking at a comfortable pace down the hallway. I almost feel like we're going on a stroll together, something I can't say I've really done before with a girl. Hanako doesn't seem to be thinking the same thing, though. Even though we're walking at the same pace, she never comes within arm's reach of me. I guess she's still a little uncomfortable around me. Given how shy she is, there doesn't seem to be much helping it, at least for now. By the time we arrive at the cafeteria, there's not much of a crowd there, but Lily's nowhere to be seen. Hanako's head sinks even lower than usual. Have you looked somewhere else already?
Just at the library. That's reading.
So she does spend the classes she skips at the library. Ah, so not exactly a thorough search then. Well, if I had to guess, she'd be in her own class like Shizune said, right?
Right.
With the slightest of nods, Hanako agrees with my reasoning. God, she's being so awkward. It's like I need gold-layered silk gloves with padding to even begin interacting with her. Some small talk might help her become more used to me. It's hard to tell that the silence between us is hovering on the edge of both of our minds. So you and Lily usually hang out together after class, right?
Yes.
I'm not quite sure what I expected from her answer, nor why I even asked the question. That much was rather obvious after all. She doesn't seem the type to cultivate a social circle either, so I suspect that Lily may be her only friend. Must be a pain being in different classes, I guess. She gives a sharp, almost reflexive nod. Compared to Lily's careful thought about her actions and speech, Hanako hastens to make her answers as prompt and short as possible.
Lily comes by the classroom, though, even when she's busy.
She gives a small smile as she says it, evidently appreciating the fact that Lily goes out of her way to help her. It's pretty cute, really. There's no need to say more, both of us content that the discussion reaches an end. As we ascend the stairs back to the lobby, we are met by a group of students heading downstairs like a school of fish moving from one feeding area to another. They seem to be keeping mostly to themselves, but before I can notice her doing so, Hanako has moved me around behind me. Hey, are you alright?
Just keep going.
Students pass us without as much as a second glance, and Hanako takes up a position to my side, again as we enter the building. A momentary reprieve from her anxiety all but snatched away. Even as we climb toward the third floor, she doesn't seem to relax. It isn't as if I've never known a shy person before, or even shy girls. Well, Hanako seems to be pretty far beyond what I'd call normal in her fear of other people. If it weren't for Lily acting as a mediator, I doubt Hanako would even be able to walk beside me like this. She seems to be completely shut down in the presence of others. The rest of the walk up to Lily's classroom continues in strained silence, while I rue her inability to socialize at all. After we make our way upstairs, the noise coming from Lily's classroom is audible from halfway down the hallway. I wasn't expecting such a din at all. Well, I guess we found her. This wasn't hard. Then Hanako come here first, and then come to me for backup, I wonder. Well, if that's true, then at least she's starting to trust me a little. It can only be a good thing. Eventually, the two of us reached the door to class 3-2, with Hanako less than subtly positioning herself behind me. I opened the door. Inside is a hive of activity, seemingly every student in the class talking at once as they work hurriedly on their separate tasks. Going by the paint cans, decorations, and banners being made, it must be for the upcoming school festival. I guess my first priority should be finding Lily. Finding her among the din is surprisingly easy, not the least of it because of her looks. With a couple of students gathered around her as she stands at the front of the class, she seems to be in charge of the preparations, or at least is organizing them. Carefully negotiating a path through the various students hunched over the floor, to the lack of desk space, I raise my head entirely out of habit as we finally reach Lily. Hey, Lily. She perks her head up as she breaks off, talking to a noticeably smaller girl who must be her classmate, trying to listen the best as she can.
Sorry, who?
Sorry, Katawa. I brought Hanako too.
Hi.
She's pretty skittish. Considering the number of people around, it isn't too hard to work out why. Lily takes a moment to pause to assess the situation before turning to the other student once again. For the moment, just ask Maria for his advice. Kenji's busy with painting one of the banners already. Quick nod and she bounces off, fingers carefully gliding along the wall's face for orientation. Wait, Kenji? That Kenji? I quickly turn around, leaning to the side to see past Hanako. Sure enough, in a corner of the room, Kenji's hunched over a sheet of cloth as he paints it. His eyes remain only inches from the brush, reminding me how close he has to make out my face when I met him. Sorry about that. The class doesn't have many students with even partial eyesight, so they're in high demand. That's right. Class 3-2 was especially for students with poor vision. Preparing for the festival was pretty arduous for them. Need a hand? I could give you help if you need some. Maybe Hanako could too. A chance to set her mind on something would do her good, but I doubt she has the courage to ask outright. She quickly nods an affirmation afterwards, so I'm confident I made the right move. Lily gives a notable sigh of relief. That's good. Let's actually get finished before everyone goes off to dinner now. Will you be able to help the person painting the main banner? It's a big task for him to do, but nobody else can help. Can she? You seem surprised I know him. Can't really blame her. I take it you've met? Our rooms are in the dorm right next to each other. Or to miss each other, really. But it's good to getting friends so fast. Friend. I wonder if that's the right word to use for him. Hanako's silence during the proceedings reminds me of the reason I put her up to helping in the first place. We'll go help him then. So he knows what needs doing, right? That's right. Just ask if you have any problems. Forcing an assent, Hanako and I begin another trek across the classroom. Kenji sits crouched on the floor, his gaze fixed on the white calico in front of him. Hey, Kenji. No answer. He continues dragging his paint-soaked brush along the large, half-painted kanji that's sketched on the sheet in pencil. Kenji?
What? Who are you?
If this is the way he treats class members, it's no small wonder he's working on this alone. It's me, who's out front. Right, I know that, man. What are you doing here, Joe? His dismissive attitude annoys me. He must be the type to get really focused on his work, ready to be disturbed by anyone until he's done, I guess. While we talk, the sound of Hanako's footsteps as she walks out from behind me reminds me that she's even here. I was just going to help with the banner. Hanako and I, that is.
Hello?
Oh, I guess that's okay. As soon as Hanako enters the equation, his demeanor takes a complete about face. Sudden faux hospitality is slightly unsettling. Oh, right. Woman. On second thoughts, this might not have been a great idea after all. Hanako and I grudgingly set ourselves down on the opposite side of the cloth banner, Kenshi, noting the several small paint tins in the ground around it. Class 3-2 noodle stall? You guys are selling noodles on the festival on Sunday?
Yeah, some stalls inside or something.
Or something. His noncommittal nature sparks a fair amount of suspicion on my behalf. Ask at hand comes first, though. So how do you want to split this? We do borders while you do text? Or do you want to switch and do the borders?
Text is mine. What is the borders?
He has surprisingly strong feelings on the topic. As you reach over to grab a brush, I notice Hanako's already debating between colors to use. By the time we put brush to cloth, she's already started on the delicate pattern. Looks like my idea of taking her mind off everyone around her worked. With a dark blue stroke, the three of us silently get to work. Before Kenji takes advantage of Hanako's working to lean towards me and whisper conspiratorially, though.
Okay, man, why are you here?
Hanako just wanted me to help to find Lily, that's all. He apparently disapproves of my motivations.
I get it. It's like I misjudged you. You infiltrated the north. You went deep into cover.
I should have guessed. Letting the truth slip by him would probably be better than outright lying and annoying him, in any case. Is that why you're here?
Seriously, it sucks, but it's no better to get intel than going on yourself. Let's stick together, man. You look cool, I swear.
Yeah, very harsh. Well, this is my true meanings as he leads back. Satisfied, I'm sympathetic to his cause. I better get down to work.
Finished.
Looks like I am too. Good job. Two of us connect up the lines of our patterns, mine being as close a copy as I could manage of hers. With a grunt, I lever myself up from the floor and look around. Aside from Hanako and myself, there's only Kenji left finishing off the sign, as well as Lily and a couple of students talking among themselves in this classroom. Looking at my watch is no surprise. It's getting pretty late. Looks like 1:10? Wrong by this clock here, this being the small hand, this being the large hand. Anyway, not important. Need a hand? I offer a hand to Hanako, which she uses to get herself up. As she does, I can't help but glance at her wrist. For her scars extend even to there, how much of her body was burned? I feel a pang of guilt about it, however, she quickly covers her wrist with the other hand. Looks good, doesn't it? She looks surprised for a moment before noticing that I mean the banner.
It does, I guess.
The smile shows that she feels a slight sense of pride at the result, just as I do. With the floor significantly neater before the decorations being placed on desks and shelves, it's much easier to get to Lily as we cross the room. We've finished the banner. I guess that's all that needs to be done. Lily gives an appreciative nod.
Thank you, Hisao. Nico, if there's any way I can thank you...
That's fine. It's the beat sitting in my room studying at any rate.
I don't mind either.
She nods before suddenly remembering one last person.
Oh,
is Kenji still here? Just as I open my mouth, Kenji gives the answer from the other side of the room.
Yeah, just finished.
He carefully slides a sign into an empty section of shelf to dry before quickly walking past us out the door.
Yeah, man.
Later. The remaining two students say their goodbyes to Lily before taking the cue to leave as well, leaving only the three of us. Well, I guess that's everyone.
I hope we don't have to do anything like that again.
Working past school time?
Indeed. Class's plans this year were ambitious. Maybe too ambitious. Stars look nice, though.
He's right. Shows that a lot of work's going into them.
My.
I'm sure a lot of us would be glad to hear that. At least now there's not much work to do until the festival itself.
It's getting pretty late. Should we go?
That's probably a good idea. Are you going to go back to the domes as well, Hisao? Yeah, I guess I'll tag along. The nighttime lighting really makes the gardens look quite different. Compared to the usual look of lush greenery, things are much more calm. Being that it's too late and the lack of students around probably helps. The odd one or two can be seen scurrying to and from the dorms, trying to eke the most out of their approaching curfews, but no more. All that can be heard is our footsteps, in addition to Lily's cane regularly gently tapping the ground in front of her. It's nice to finally be able to relax after the mad rush during school. Without even noticing it, I let a small yawn. Quiet? Yeah, still getting used to the flow of things, I guess. The thing with Shizune kind of took me off guard, though. I grit my teeth a little as the candid mention of their rather slick spat. That said, I do want to sort out what in the world was behind it. About that. I'm sorry about it being so public. Shizune and I go back some ways. Her voice seems slightly irritated as she remembers Shizune, obviously unwilling to discuss it any further. I glanced at Hanako over her views on this, but her expression is unsurprisingly evasive and difficult to read. By the way, I guess her apologizing for it is something even if my curiosity goes unanswered. I'll be glad once the festival is over, in any case. The change of topic is welcome, clearing the thickening air quickly. You can imagine, my old school's festivals were a lot more low-key than this. Yamaku stresses the ideal of a school community, so the staff likes to make our festivals on such special occasions. And yet the students are the ones who do the work. What an unfair world. Hanako and Lily both chuckle in agreement, savoring the fact that none of the staff are around to hear our grumbling. I suppose coming from a strict all-girls school helped me a bit with Yamaku. Compared to there, Yamaku is much more relaxed. I'd go away towards explaining her well-bred speech and behavior in any case. As we come up to the dormitories, it eventually comes time to leave for our respective rooms. See you later, Lily, Hanako. Who both give polite nods before setting off to the women's dorms, just next to the guys'. As to be expected of such an arrangement, there is a staff member casually patrolling the ground outside to prevent any nighttime shenanigans. Walking past him, I quickly stretch my arms and rub my neck, both quite sore after having worked the floor for so long, before walking to my room. It feels good to actually have direction, though. After so long in the hospital, the everyday facts of studying, homework, and teachers seems almost like a blessing. I guess if things continue like this, my time at Yamaku might turn out to be okay. But hearing the nurse's nagging voice in the back of my head, I set my alarm clock to wake me early enough to go jogging again. I made a promise, and I'm going to keep it. Besides, I mean, it's bound to rat on me if I don't show up. But it's not that bad. Katawa Shoujo. Katawa Shoujo. And I think that'll actually be it. Alright, guys. If you want to write save, yes. That's Rin. I don't no, hold on. Is it main menu? Yes. I really like this game. It's good. It's really good. I will be back to this, but I really don't want to go longer. But I have other plans for the rest of the day, and I'm probably also already infringing on some of that. So I'm gonna have to cut it here. Sorry, guys. But this will be back once we're done with Valhalla. It shouldn't take too long. Because I had plans for something in October, maybe, and I might stop other projects to do that. But it'll take up much time. But Katawa Shoujo will have to sit on the back burner until then, until such a time at which I will come back to it. Though you can bet I'll be thinking about it a lot, because it's good, very well written, very good. It's written in kind of a weird way that makes my tongue hide. Sometimes you probably have noticed, but it doesn't matter. But with that, I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your week. I hope you guys remember to take care of yourselves, and even if you don't go out to touch grass, quote unquote, properly, you should probably still go out and jog around your neighborhood or something. I promise nobody's going to look at you weird because there's going to be very few people out there anyway. Anyway, take care of yourselves, guys, and I'll catch you later. Bye.